So let's begin. Take the seat. Lift the side ribs and be aware of the tight chest. Draw the back armpits gently forward. Draw the top throat slightly backward. And we'll start with 2 rounds of Adha practice to ground. So awareness to the right big toe, front pelvic floor, back pelvic floor, middle of pelvic floor, upper pelvic middle, navel, heart, throat, back wall mouth, root tongue, tip tongue, tip of nose, root of nose, middle of forehead, inner middle skull, crown of skull, going down to middle of skull, middle of forehead, root of nose, tip of nose, tip of tongue, root of tongue, back wall mouth, throat, chest, navel, middle of pelvic floor, back of pelvic floor, front of pelvic floor, left big toe. The second round, do by yourself, starting from right big toe all the way to the crown of the skull and back to the left big toe. It's okay if you miss 1 or 2 points. Once done, starting Tanu 1, watching the breath. And as you watch the breath, not only see the flow of the movement of the breath, but also see the points of beginning and ending of both inhale and exhale. So inhalation, beginning, it begins from a point, from a pause, that spot, and then the inhalation ends, that's a pause. Then from that pause, exhalation begins, and then exhalation ends. It's a natural breath. Once you find that there is uninterrupted flow of attention along the movement of the inhale and the movement of the exhale, give more attention to these points, mainly the point where from the inhalation ascends and the end of that inhalation from where exhalation ascends. Now bring Tanu 2 with a slightly different point of focus. Become aware of the root of the nose point, which is the bridge of the nose area. From there, as you exhale, let awareness flow down along the angle of the two nostril openings down to the space outside the body. And the end of that will be the spot roughly in line with the middle of the chest in front of you. That's a Dwadashanta point. And then as you inhale from that spot in front of the chest in the space outside, visualize a stream of energy just going up through the nose into the root of the nose, and it descends down into this point within the body in line with the heart. Then the exhalation starts from within the body at the heart point. It ascends to that bridge of the nose and it descends down through the nose into the space outside to that spot in front of the heart outside. So Tanu 2, basically we are referring to spatial attention. So here we are attending to basically the 2 points. The Dwadashanta point, which is 12 finger width away from the nostril end, which is roughly in front of the heart, in the space outside. And then the spot inside the body. Every exhale, the attention flow begins from the middle of the heart, goes up and goes out to the spot outside. Every inhale starts from that spot outside, goes up through the nose to bridge of the nose, descends down into the heart. These 2 points. So this is totally internalized practice. So you have to remember that the perception of boundary of the body, that perception is in your consciousness. And then what is outside in front of the chest, that space, that's also a perception in your consciousness. So you can very well just visualize this breath going outside the body. From there you can feel it coming up and going inside. But it's all in one consciousness. After the next cycle, let go of the deliberate work and simply be with the beingness of this light of consciousness. And now what you're going to do is you're going to do moderate inhalation and exhalation. So you'll take it to a moderate length, but you will stay with comfortable retentions. So you'll inhale to a moderate length and stay with a internal retention, and then you will exhale, and then again, if you're comfortable, stay with an external retention. So basically, for the next 2 minutes, you're just working on retentions, not to the point of discomfort, just moderate pauses, maybe around 20 seconds, where you can really feel the stillness in terms of the movement of the breath. There's a stillness. So work on that. These are all techniques. These are all done in the context of the yatra, in the context of Shaivism, and in particular in the context of a text known as Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. So it says, Navrajet, Navishet, Shakti, Maruda, Vigasite, meaning when the movement, Maruda meaning Shakti, Maruda meaning this energy in the form of the breath, when that do not move in any direction, then Nirvikalpadaya, Madhyataya, Bhairava Rupata, meaning in the middle of these retentions, you will sense this non-movement, and then the Shakti expands, a sense of the expansion of Shakti occurs, and in that expansion, you start to recognize the form of Bhairava. That is that great, spacious, non-dual consciousness. You start to get a sense of it. Stay with the retention and deeply feeling this stillness of otherwise moving Shakti in the form of breath. And as you stay with the stillness, as you look into the middle of the stillness, the middle might expand. That would mean many things. Middle, normally you're just looking at retention, and suddenly that retention can expand to give you a deeper meaning of it, can give you a deeper experience. After the next cycle of retentions, it doesn't matter if you're just doing internal retention or external retention, you work with it. So after the next round, you just let go of the deliberate working and then simply sit. So the text also says that kumpita rechita vapi purida ya yada bhavet, meaning when you do these kumbhakas, kumbhakas means retentions. When you do that, ideally they are referring to a condition of the mind where the retention spontaneously happens. Yada bhavet, when these retentions happen. So it's like your mind starts to get absorbed in a deep state of stillness, in a deeper absorption, and then the breath spontaneously stops, and you just relish that pause. So that's one meaning, and right now that kind of spontaneous pause might not be happening, so we are working a bit deliberately on the pauses. But even as you're working on these pauses, what you have to watch out for is the rising of Shanta Namasau Shakti, meaning Shakti in the name of Shanta, simply means Shakti in the form of tranquility rises. So, and then as you focus on that tranquility, again that deeper nature of you gets revealed. So another 3 minutes, you're going to work on kumbhakas. So you cannot be either just the inhale retains, and these are calm retentions. You don't have to go to the very edge of capacities. And then deeply feeling as you keep on staying in this retention, and as you get absorbed into this retention, this pause, whether that energy in the form of deep tranquility is being felt. Remember the retention. There's a point where you can feel peace, and a point beyond where you feel strain and pain. So don't go to that area. But moderate retentions have a sweetness, has a peace, and you're looking more and more to connect to that. After the next cycle, or just do one more cycle where you again try to deeply feel that stillness. Body should not move, your mind is completely fixated on that gentle, that tranquility rising from that stillness. And then you release, and then see whether we can just stay with that sense of shanta, sense of that peace, which have been generated by the kumbhakas. Because it's this peace which can then reveal to us a deeper, essential nature of ourselves. So when we connect to Shakti, though we say that what will open up is a tranquility, sometimes you might start to feel a sense of subtle inner kind of vibrations, and some even will connect to some bija sounds. So it's like some kind of vibratory kind of, it's not exactly sounds, but like sounds. That's all fine. Just sitting with Shakti. And then one last round, you again work on the kumbhakas, just 2 minutes this time. Smooth inhales, smooth retains and exhales. Not every breath you need to retain. After a few rounds, if you feel like let a few normal breaths flow, that's fine. After the next cycle, letting go of the deliberate work. Then you can take to Namaste. If you feel like sitting for a little while longer, you can do that, and eventually you're moving into child pose. If you want to take a short shavasana, that's fine too.